Is no stranger to the world of public service. He became the chief of staff and de facto spokesperson of former President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo. He's none other than Mike Defensor.
Thank you, Atty. Trixie. Good morning po sa inyo, Secretary. And of course, napakaaga po nitong show ninyo. But I'm very thankful to be your host today. And of course, ako po am willing to take the challenge. But for today, you're watching The Spokes.
Alice Halls, then to our group chats now.
We will be giving you conversations that will make you think and assess.
So that you could come up with your own personal opinion.
What we want to present are two sides of each political or governance concern.
Well, apparently, Zaldico won't be returning due to serious threats to his life. This is our first noted on The Spokes. So, what do you think?
Alam mo to, Atty. Trixie, ako naniniwala that really Zaldico would have that lumalabas na mastermind.
Okay.
Siya yung tinuturo ng lahat, and of course, pagka ganun yung sitwasyon, they're saying that yung ang kadugtong, yung kay Martin Romualdez.
Okay.
And so, yan na. You don't know now who, may mga, sabi nga niya, galit yung mga Pilipino sa kanya, may mga galit na kasama niya. So this is the situation precisely of Congressman Zaldico. But Atty. Trixie, just an observation.
Okay.
Pagka si Zaldico, for example, nagtapat at sinabi niya na hindi ako ang mastermind, meron pa akong boss, at meron pa akong mga kasama, hindi ako yung pinaka-beneficiary nitong mga nangyayari nito, then he becomes part of the the witness protection program as a state witness.
He can.
Di ba? So, yan yung sitwasyon ni Zaldi. In this situation, he is now the mastermind, but maybe in the future, pwede siyang maging state witness if he is able to prove na talagang hindi siya ang punot dulo at nagmamanipula nitong mga nangyayari.
Well, according to his lawyer, he's citing threats to his life. Do you think these threats are real?
Yeah, I think so. For example, pag pinatay mo si Zaldico, pinatay mo si Paul Estrada, at saka pinatay mo si Mark Texay. Ito yung tatlong kasama, yung dalawang assistant niya, at saka siya.
Yeah.
Wala namang makakapagturo, makapagsalita kung ano talagang scheme. Now, what is exactly the scheme that is happening now? Because what we're witnessing now is actually just the DPWH issue. Ito pa lang to eh. But what if, kung totoo yung sinasabi ni Sergeant Gutesa na may linggon-linggong pondo, may linggon-linggong pera na binibigay sa kanila at iniipon nila at dinideliver din nila?
Yikes. So, but this is bigger pala than we thought, ano?
Oh, yes. And if you were the lawyer, Atty. Trixie, ikaw, abogada ka, what would you advise Congressman Zaldico?
Well, yeah, if I was his lawyer. Well, kung ngayon na nasa labas siya, I don't know. Actually, it depends eh. Kung ano yung hamon ng kasaysayan, depende rin yan kung ano nangyayari. For example, what if it's a temperature ng publiko? Sino naniniwala ba that it ends with Zaldico?
That's
Do you
right.
honestly think that it ends there? It couldn't have happened without the knowledge of higher-ups. Ilan lang ang higher up.
Tama. And you know, Atty. Trixie, may isa tayong case dati na nangyari. If you recall si General Garcia.
Correct.
Alam mo nangyari doon? Nagkaroon siya ng plea bargain. Inamin niya.
Yeah.
Siya talaga. Siya yung mastermind, kinulong siya, nagsoli siya, if I'm not mistaken, 200 million pesos. Pero yung pamilya na were allowed to live in the United States. Wala na dito eh. So siya hanggang ngayon nakakulong sa Bilibid prisons. Now, in the case of Zaldi,
nakalabas na yata.
Yes, he was issued a pardon if I'm not mistaken. At that time, nakakulong siya. Now, in the case of Zaldi, siyempre, kung siya yung abogado, ang tinitingnan na abogado, ano ba yung kliyente ko? Mastermind ba to? O ito ay kasangkapan lang or one of the players, underboss, kumbaga sa mafia, hindi pa siya yung boss of the boss, doon sa kabuuang operation na ginagawa nila sa pagkulimbat ng pera at kaba ng bayan.
Incidentally, yung lawyer ni Congressman Zaldi, is
Attorney
Attorney
Rui
Rui Rondain.
Rondain, yes.
And he used to represent former First Gentleman Mike Arroyo.
Yes.
Did you ever have a chance to meet him?
Yes, in fact, naging abogado rin yan ni Congressman Mikey Arroyo. And I was listening listening to his press con. Actually, kinakabahan nga ako eh. Dahil, I mean, to be honest, si Attorney Rondain is a good lawyer. At kung legal ang pag-usapan, magaling to. Kasi ang sinasabi
No
niya,
question, yes.
as of now, wala kami nakikitang kaso against Congressman Saldico. No, sabi niya, and we're willing to face that. Kaya nga, importante yung galaw ng gobyerno. Importante mabilis yung gobyerno. For example, sabi niya, how can you cancel the passport of my client? Eh, wala pa eh. Wala pa kayong fina-file na case. So I'm thinking, Attorney Trixie, in the situation like this, kasi lahat ng mga magnanakaw pa dyan, no? Those who are involved, na binabanggit yung mga pangalan, paano kung naglalabas na ng pera? Paano kung tinatakas na yung pera? Di ba may sinabi yung air asset? Sabi niya, hindi. Tingnan mo si Attorney Rondain, magaling talaga. Sabi niya, wala pagaling aeroplano si Congressman Saldico. Pag-aari yun ng Masibis Corporation.
Which is...
Owned by Saldico, di ba? Pero, I mean,
Pero ano nga yun eh, yung mga pagkakaalam natin, and dito kasi nag-PCGG ako for a while.
Oh, yes,
So Marcos
oo.
Sr., minsan 10, ang daming levels
Layers.
ng kanyang pagtatago ng pera. So pero dito, ang naman nun, kaagad may CVs, that's what, 1 or 2 steps away. Madali ipatunayan yung criminal liability dyan.
yes. And then, Attorney Trixie, you mentioned PCGG. Imagine, nagbuo tayo ng isang ahensya ng gobyerno to attack, I mean, not attack, but to sequester and eventually bawiin yung pera at assets ng gobyerno. In this particular case, yung kay PCGG, bahabaan eh. And as you mentioned, layers by layer. Pero dapat tingin ko rin, magkaroon ng batas para mabilis natin mahabol at mapa-cancel yung mga passport ng mga taong lumalabas. Kasi si Mark Teksay, si Paul Estrada, wala na sa bansa.
Actually, kung gusto talaga ng administrasyon, makikiusap sila magpa-cancel ng mga visa.
That's right.
So,
Oo.
hindi kailangan passport.
Passport.
So, para sa akin, doubtful yon. Kung gusto talaga nilang habulin itong mga to, maraming paraan, hindi lang yung pagkansela ng
Ng visa.
passport.
Paano yung pera sa AMLA? Can they just send notice? So, okay, pagdating sa passport, cancellation of visa, in effect, pwede na. Unless yung bansa, no visa policy.
Oo, correct.
Makakataka siya.
Oo.
But, with an Interpol,
Red notice.
notice, pwedeng ang hindi red eh. Pwedeng yung blue notice, di ba? Na they can warn these people. Medyo mapapahirapan na. But in the case of AMLA, paano natin mahinto yung pag-alis ng pondo, kung nagtatago ng pondo, pag-withdraw ng pondo?
Hindi naman matigil yung investigation ng AMLA just because umalis yung tao.
Or can we serve notice to AMLA, let's say, itong mga taong to are persons of interest or
considered
concern?
served yung basta meron kang permanent address na served doon, siya yung bahala mag-explain na hindi siya nakatanggap ng notice.
Kasi yung iba wala pang
didiretso.
kaso eh.
Ayun yung problema. Bakit wala pang kaso yung mga yan?
If you
So,
notice,
again,
yung lumabas sa ICI, marami doon, or more than half, hindi pa nakasuhan. So, and I agree also doon sa punto naman nila na medyo itama naman natin yung kaso. Hindi naman pwedeng after 5 years, matalo lang din tayo. So, there are two concerns. Ma-filean ka agad, ma-hold ng pondo, ma-hold ang travel nila, but at the same time, kailangan number 2 is that we have a strong case that we will file against them. Kaya ang feeling ko nga, dapat sana may special law just so ma-address itong particular issue na to.
Yeah, but if we make one, hindi siya retroactive. So, and which reminds us, on our next topic, the ICI is calling on the Ombudsman to investigate former DPWH Secretary Manuel Bonoan and Yusek Roberto Bernardo and Yusek Maria Catalina Cabral.
That's correct. Actually, Attorney Trixie, doon nga ako nagtaka nung una. Bakit hindi kasama si Secretary Bani Bonoan? Isa nga yung Secretary ng DPWH.
Correct. Tapos they allowed him. In fact, di ba sa Senate, nag-blue ribbon na.
Yes.
Tapos nag-resign siya.
Yes.
Tapos hindi na siya natawag uli.
Yes.
So, yun,
tinanong ko si Senator Mercoleta dyan. Sabi ko, that time he was chairman eh.
Yes.
Sabi ko, oh, Kadante, Senator, bakit mo pinatayo na si Secretary Bunoan? At that time, sabi niya, hindi, don't worry. Kasi at that time naman, wala pang mention of his name. But sabi niya, eventually, we will call him sa committee. So, that was before the Diskaya exposure.
Correct.
So, paglabas ng Diskaya exposure, hindi na siya yung chairman ng Blue Ribbon Committee. But definitely, Secretary, I've worked with him, no? Secretary Manny Bunoan. Si Undersecretary Cabral, I've worked with her when she was still the policy. Kaya nga iniisip ko noon, siguro hindi ma-involve sa corruption dahil policy eh. But eventually pala, yung pagprograma ng mga proyekto,
Yan, galing
nandun
sa
na din sa
DPWH,
policy.
yes.
Pero dapat talaga, and again, sorry to say, wala naman po ako, nothing personal against them. Kasi si Yusek Bernardo lumabas na eh. Pero dapat sana talaga, ma-hold kagad yung kanilang pag-alis at ma-hold yung pondo. Kasi yun naman ang ano ng tao na, ang tagal na, 2 months? Alam naman nilang there will be eventually yung mga pangalan nila, paano yung pera?
Bago pa nga na, nag-announce pa na magka-create ng ICI. Di ba create nyo na kaagad?
Yes.
Di ba? So, yun nga, it gives rise to the suspicion na bakit yung pinapatagal ito?
Oo.
Kasi umpisa pa lang, alam na nila. In fact, dun pa lang na na-fact check si Presidente sa 5,500 flood control projects. Tapos inulan, binaha. Hindi ba dapat dun pa lang nag-imbestiga na?
Tama, tama. I agree. And siguro, hindi lang tong sa DPWH, ako naniniwala sa maraming departamento may nangyari. Because now, ang lumalabas na kwento ng maraming tao, yung ginagawang systematic corruption, di ba? Yung sa DPWH is one, kasi normal yan, no? But what about DOH?
Yun.
What about DepEd?
Marami pa.
Oo, na ang nangyayari pala, in the end, ito na naman yung sistema. You're talking about, again, 25-30% corruption, select contractors. Kailangan tingnan yan. Kasi panahon na maayos at mabago yan. Hindi dapat tuloy-tuloy itong sistema na nangyari na in fact, kung di na ano na to talaga, alam na to ng mga bangko eh. Alam na lahat ng congressman to. Alam na ng mga mayor. Bakit? Kasi hiningan yung congressman. So yung congressman, papaliwanag sa mayor. Kikwento kay kapitan. Yung contractor magpapaliwanag sa bangko. So all these things put together, naririnig at nalalaman ng tao.
Nakikita natin parang inilalayo dun sa executive eh. Kasi like you said, bakit
Yes.
ngayon lang tinatawag si ano? But do you think na dapat same magnitude, same kumbaga, ang penalties for cabinet vis-a-vis the legislators?
Ako, wala akong judgment on how they para bang ano yung nangyaring cases. Ang ayokong nangyayari, pag nakikita ko yung isang grupo may kaso, yung isa wala. For example, what am I saying? Nagsalita si Diskaya. Ang daming sinabing pangalan. Ang daming sinabing problema. Dapat yun, kunin natin. Nagsalita si Yusek Bernardo, nagsalita si District Engineer Alcantara, sila Bryce, at yung mga gusto pang magsalita, si Sergeant Orly Gotesa, dapat kunin natin lahat yun. No? Ipunin lahat yun, ayusin lahat yun, at kasuhan.
Of course. Well, not just kasuhan. Kasi nakikita nga natin na halimbawa dun sa there's certain departments na naiiwasan but cannot help but be involved. There's budget.
Yes. Yeah, but even if there's budget, other countries have budgets, di ba? Pero dapat may role nga ang Congress, Constitution din, tsaka Senate. Ayusin naman natin. Huwag yung ganitong pagbababoy at pagnanakaw sa kaban ng bayan. So, it's not just agencies under the microscope. Even the Office of the Vice President is facing renewed public scrutiny.
Joining us later is Attorney Ruth Castello, when the Spokes returns after this short break. And you are tuned in to The Spokes.
Joining our discussion is former DTI Undersecretary, now tasked to defend and define the work of the Office of the Vice President.
Welcome to The Spokes, Attorney Ruth.
Oh yes, hi, good morning.